Hey guys, welcome to, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Just gonna be baking some bread for you guys today. Okay, we are at a gas station, which is a Canadian Tire, and we will be filling up Mashiro for the first time. Because we're finally running low on fuel, so it'll be interesting. Oh, it's absolutely cold out here. Let's go!
My fingers. This thing is so cold.
Hirap, Mashiro.
You're so cute. We're missing Mike.
No mic though.
Kinda want to get Steve. They actually use a different texture for Lucas's hair, and it feels so nice.
It's good for cleaning your window. But yeah, no mic. What the heck is going on? Oh. Nice. Cooking day. You got curry? No, that's Gyudon curry, and then we'll have some dough over here for the flatbread. Nice. Oh yeah, I forgot Bullen was making like baked potatoes. Oh, it didn't peel off like the way it's supposed to,
But it smells like it.
so
It smells like yaki.
let's go. Do you need a spoon for it? Dorata.
It's not cooked enough.
So okay.
But it's getting there. Maybe we need it in for a bit more.
Okay, go for it.
This is our attempt of green onion pancake, and the potato that we followed the Instagrammer, and it actually works.
Kinda, but not fully.
Yeah, I guess like it still need time.
Or a different kind of potato for that matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're rolling out the flatbreads into this size. And
Multivitamin.
with the multivitamins, because we don't have a rolling pin. We're so poor. Let's get it.
We found.
Yeah, I remembered when I was fixing the legs for the electric fan. I remember we had this. So
We're using it as a rolling pin now, and it actually works really well.
So I need a space now.
Damn.
Sorry. Don't forget to get these pickles. They go well together. Hey guys, welcome to, well, I don't know what I'm doing here. Just gonna be baking some bread for you guys today. It's the first time I'm trying to record this, so let's see how it goes. Normally I bake bread, well, pretty sporadically, because sometimes I don't want to buy bread outside at the supermarket. So this is the bread recipe that Bullen found somewhere, and we've been using it ever since. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through the ingredients that it uses and see if you guys want to try it out. Let's go. Okay, I think it's in my notes over here somewhere. Here we go. Okay, so of course you always need your flour, and I'm gonna be listing it out as I go throughout the recipe over here. Here we go. So this type of bread actually uses two types of flour. There's the first dough that you put in, which is the, I guess, kind of like a starter dough. So this one goes for 250 grams of all-purpose flour. That's too much. That's 257 at the moment. have to reduce the amount a little bit. Okay, that's 250 grams of flour. Next, I'm going to be adding in some sugar, 50 grams of it. That's going to help our yeast activate. So now we're going to be adding our yeast. I'm just using this brand. Actually, this calls for only 7 grams a piece, but you know, this is an 8. But you know, I might as well just use it because it's kind of a waste if you just don't use all 8, you know? And this is just 1 gram difference. And then you add some salt. 1 teaspoon of salt. Just like that. That's our dry ingredients for the first part. And you're gonna want to give that a good mix so that's well incorporated. And you know, you get that yeast everywhere because you don't want to have that fermenting in just one side of your dough, huh? Okay, once that's settled, put that aside, and then we're gonna go and measure out our wet ingredients that goes with this bread recipe. Okay, so now we're gonna be measuring out our wet ingredients that goes for this recipe. So it calls for milk, water, some honey, and of course some butter. And let's go measure out the first ingredient first. Now the reason why I'm using the saucepan over here is because after you measure out your ingredients, you're supposed to heat it up, and that heat is actually going to be essential for activating your yeast so that your bread like rises up. So here we go. Okay, first ingredient is 120 grams of milk. Let's measure that out. 120 grams of milk. Next, you need about 240 grams of water. This is a bit tricky to pour. Okay, exactly 240. Nice. Next, I'm gonna be using some honey. This is the honey that we use. You can use any kind of fancy honey that you guys like, but I think this one just works okay. That's gonna be 42 grams of honey. Here we go. Here we go. Nice. Okay, next we're gonna be adding some butter. So preferably use unsalted butter, guys, so you can control the amount of salt that goes into the bread. So we're gonna be adding 57 grams. I'm gonna be using this tool that we got from Japan. It's actually pretty cool because like when you just dig it through, you get like cubes of like butter, and it's much more easier to manage. So 57 grams it goes in. That's a 10. And just scrape off the remainder. That should be 57. Nice. Okay. Okay, so once you have all of your wet ingredients up, what you're going to do is you're gonna put this on your stove, and you're gonna heat up the liquid until you've melted all of the butter, and at the same time it reaches a temperature of, let me just check, it needs to reach a if I'm not mistaken, it was 57 degrees Celsius, so not too hot. So we're gonna go ahead and heat that up now. Okay, so I mentioned at the beginning of the recipe is that this uses two measurements of flour. So the first flour that we made earlier, this is it, along with the yeast, sugar, and the salt. And then we're gonna have like the second measurement of flour, which is going to create the actual dough for making the bread. So I'm gonna be measuring out the second one, and this is going to be about 313 grams of all-purpose flour. So let's go ahead with that. I might not have enough, so good thing we have extra, but I'm just gonna have to go ahead and pour this up first. We just might make it. It's 306 already. Yep. And 313 grams. Awesome. Okay. Also, you're gonna be needing 1 egg for this recipe. So I got my egg over here. I'm just gonna leave it out to kind of like get down to room temp, so it's much more easier to use as well. Okay, that's it for the measurements and the ingredients that we have. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and make the dough. Okay, so I got my pan over here heating up, and I'm just gonna go grab a spatula. Oops, wrong drawer. Just gonna grab a spatula to kind of like stir that in and kind of melt the butter. Also, you wanna keep it moving because like the honey has a tendency of like sticking at the bottom of your pan, so this helps. Yeah, just wait for that to melt, and we're gonna check the temperature as well. So it needs to reach around 57 degrees Celsius. I got also our handy dandy thermometer over here, but I'm gonna use that later once you've got all of the butter melted in. Okay, so I just heated up the pan and we're checking out the temperature right now. We're reading at about 65. Oh, even climbing higher. So we want to keep that at a lower temp because like if it's too hot, it'll kill the yeast and you'll end up with a defective product and it won't rise. So we're gonna keep stirring it until it kind of cools down to that temperature that we need so that we could use it. And it's actually pretty fortunate that our table is actually like made out of marble, so it kind of like draws out the heat. But feel free to use a ice bath to cool it down if needed. But I think just stirring would do the trick. Okay, I think I stirred it a bit too long and left it in there. It's starting to cool down a bit too much. So I'm gonna stop here and I'm gonna go ahead and try to mix that in here. So you wanna do this slowly so that you can fully incorporate the wet ingredient into the dry ingredient. So using a whisk, I prefer using a whisk, but go ahead, use whichever you guys are more comfortable with. And I'm gonna pour it a little bit at a time and while whisking it so it gets that consistency. By the time it comes out, it should look kind of like a batter mix, like a pancake batter mix. So I'm just gonna mix it up over here. Careful not to move it too quick. You could also use a mixer for this, but we don't have one yet. And I kind of prefer doing it by hand. Just like in the old trainings that I've done before when I was taking up pastry and bakery arts. So it's kind of fun. Good like kind of side project to do on a not so busy day. I'm just going to bring down the sides as I stir. So you see it's coming around over here. It comes up into some sort of a dough. But don't worry, once you get everything mixed, it'll be a nice slurry that you could use in later. And then later on, once this is done, what we'll do is the same. We're going to be adding the second amount of flour in. I need the knife. Here we go. Okay, just gonna go mix it. Okay, it's starting to come along nicely. I'm almost on the last pour for our wet ingredients in. There we go. Just gonna put this aside. And we're gonna continue mixing it. So at this point, again, just take your time, work it in, and don't panic if it's not getting to that consistency yet, because it does take a bit of time where the flour absorbs the wet ingredient. So just be patient with it. Eventually it'll start to thicken up and you can feel the viscosity getting a bit more thicker. Don't forget to scrape the sides a little bit, because sometimes it does clump up on one side. So what I like to do is when I'm mixing it, I also rotate the bowl as I go. Already it has that really bready smell from the yeast, which I love. There you go. So you see it's kind of like batter, but you can see it's still kind of lumpy. So just keep working it until it's smooth. Don't worry about it like, you know, developing gluten, because right now we're not developing the gluten yet. It's not until that we add the second amount of flour that we make the gluten for our bread. So just get it nice and smooth, and also it helps to aerate as well the yeast so that it can kick into production for that fermentation. Okay, so now I've gotten to that kind of like smoother consistency that I'm looking for. Now it's a good time to add your egg. Careful not to get any shells in there, because it'll be a nightmare to get out. Nice. All good. And again, incorporate that in as you mix. Let me just put that away. Here we go. Again, not worried about like, you know. Actually, I made a mistake, guys. Supposedly, if you're gonna be putting your wet ingredients, it's better to put it on a bigger bowl, because like if you're gonna be mixing it in with the dry ingredients over here, like the second amount of dough, you need that air to be able to rise as well. But normally what I do is that after I empty this, I'm gonna use this bowl to store the dough later to let it bulk ferment. So show you guys how I'll do that. You can already see like the bubbles is already coming out from the yeast, because it's already starting to actually come alive. So we're gonna have to work quick on this. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna get a spoon and I'm gonna slowly like spoon one at a time into the dough starter over here, and then it's gonna create our main dough. We're just gonna be working at it a bit at a time. I like to put 2 to 3 spoons at a time and then work it in. Again, just slowly work it in on the top first. If you have a mixer, this will be at a low speed, because if you put it in at high speed, like it doesn't really mix well. So what end up will be happening, the flour will just kind of like float around on your mixer. So put it on slow, and then eventually once you get everything up and going, you can increase the speed. Oh yeah, use a dough hook for this, because you are working with a bread dough. Okay, That's nice. Again, another 3. 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just gonna repeat that process until we got everything in, and come back to it in a while. So by the way guys, also when you're mixing it, you can see, like, once I mixed it in, what I like to do is I kind of like to dig on the bottom so it aerates around. So kind of like how it mimics how a mixer works, or like those really old mixing machines. Rotate as you go. So you see that dough is slowly coming to the consistency of a bread dough. Just keep working at it. And just keep an eye on it. Touch it from time to time. Right now it's a little bit too sticky because I don't have enough flour. But we'll get there. Okay, let's go put on our gloves and start kneading this bad boy over here. Okay, the way I like to knead this is that I just pick it from the bottom and up, fold it in on itself. So incorporate the last of that dough, that flour into your dough, and just keep working it. Just put this over here. Nice. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that bread, guys. So you can see it's still kind of sticky on the side over here. So we're gonna work that until it's not too sticky, because there's still some of the flour underneath, you see over here. So that's what we're trying to get rid of. And at the same time, you see on the side of your bowl, you wanna get rid of that by using a bench scraper. So you're gonna want to scrape that down in a bit, just like this. So you get all of that flour in, all of that dough in, so you maximize on the amount of the product. Here we go. Nice, it's coming along nicely, you can see, guys. But I want it to be not as sticky. So you see right now it's still kind of sticky. Working it will fully incorporate the wet ingredients and the doughs together, and also developing the gluten. Like to pull it like this, yes, just like that. So you can see it's already like pulling away from the bowl a little bit. That means it's coming to that consistency that we want for the dough. So just pull it, tuck it in itself, rotate, and tuck it in on itself. Repeat the process until you get that nice and smooth dough. I think with all-purpose flour you don't need to work it too much because it doesn't have a lot of gluten compared to bread flour. So just ample amount of kneading needs to be done on it. So you can see already it's not sticking too much on the glove. And then I'm gonna transfer this over here. I forgot, you need to oil this a little bit so that it doesn't stick, so it has a little bit of area to rise as well. I'm gonna do that first and before I transfer it. Okay, at this point I'm gonna be putting on my second pair of gloves because I'm going to work it in a way that it needs to be smooth when it hits this bowl over here. Okay, nice. We're looking really good right now. Okay, scrape as always. Make sure that you get all of that dough out from the bowl. Okay, so now let's see how we're looking at the bottom. Nice, pretty good. Okay, I'm gonna move it now. Pull. It should come off nicely. And just kind of like work it until you have like a smooth top. So what I'm doing is I'm just tucking it in, letting the weight of the dough push itself out, and you'll have like a nice stretch of gluten in there. I still have a little bit of like dough right here. Get that out, don't waste it. Sometimes I wish I had like 4 hands so I can just do that while I work on this. Okay. It's kind of therapeutic in a way. I can see why there's an appeal for those kind of slime. But you don't need slime. You just need to make bread. And the best part about it, you can eat it. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. Nice and smooth. Although not as smooth as I wanted it to be, but yeah, what we're going to do now is we're gonna let the fermentation process happen for an hour. So just cover that with a cling wrap and then put it somewhere warm, and then we'll come back to that for pre-shaping and also the weighing as well too. So okay, so the dough right now is upstairs. It's underneath our kotatsu where it's warming up so that it can grow. So take your time, go ahead, relax. 1 hour bulk fermentation. You can clean up over here in your work area because you're gonna be needing it as well too for pre-shaping, weighing, and other stuff. So let's go clean up here. And we're back. After 1 hour, it has risen to this size. So what we're going to be doing now is we need to punch it down. And I have Bullen over here to help me out. She's going to be helping me out. What we're going to do is we're going to flour the surface of our work area so that it doesn't stick. And then we're going to go ahead and pre-shape it. I'm going to go get a pan to line it with parchment paper. And we're going to place those over there. So what we're doing now is pre-shaping, and then after that we need to set it aside for 20 minutes, and during that time we're gonna be preheating the oven so that we can go ahead and bake it. Oh yeah, and also egg wash. We need to prep some egg wash, but let's do the punch down first. Okay, so here, gonna lay it out. Wow,
Big boy.
and punch it down, babe.
Cha! Ay,
Oh yeah, it's a bit sticky at the bottom because that's where most of the moisture went. So make sure all of the dough is out, or most of it.
angry.
And just punch it down. So I'm gonna flip
It's not
it.
actually like literal punch down. It's just press.
Yes, but that's what they call it in. So you wanna apply as much flour around so it doesn't stick around on your work surface. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
Ah,
Yeah.
it's so warm.
Yeah, it's still warm because
It's so nice.
it's kind of nice. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and divide this evenly,
It's not even.
as even as you can, and then we're gonna weigh that out. 30 grams per piece.
30, not 35.
We did 30, right?
No, 35.
35. Okay, let's do 37 this time.
You want bigger?
A little bit bigger, because like so that we don't have that excess dough. Yep.
37. Hi.
Ooh, that's 82. Holy carp.
I'm good at this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you have it like this, right? So you want to do is kind of like flatten it out, press it in, and then kind of like roll it around into a shape like this. And then you want to use the workbench to kind of like press it. Make sure it's a nice smooth, and it should come off like a little bit sticky on the bottom. Just kind of roll it into a nice ball like so. Oh, that's not the best. Takes a bit of trial and error from time to time, but yeah, it's supposed to kind of, that's a 37 gram, and we're gonna make a whole lot of those, and we're gonna line it up on our baking tray. Oh, this is 37. Sorry.
Why you touch my thing?
Sorry.
These are done.
Panic there for a bit. Okay, so let's go ahead and work these out. Okay, so while we're pre-shaping as well, we are going to be placing it into this tray over here lined with parchment paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay it out like so. So we're going to do it like 5 at a time. Or don't let it bother, that's going to be sticking, because that's the kind of bread we're trying to create here, like those kind of like satellite breads. So I'm going to keep working out until we fill this tray, or the majority of it. So you can see how the dough has become a lot more relaxed and more smoother. So that's what we're looking for in the bread. After everything's been cut and pre-shaped, we will prove it for 20 minutes. And then we'll also apply the egg wash so that it has a nice brown top. Okay, we're gonna keep going with this until we fill the tray or we finish all of the dough, so come back with us in a little bit. Okay, we've pre-shaped everything to 37 grams, but one of them is just 32 grams. Which one is it, Miyamoto?
Here.
This guy, right? Yeah.
It's not that much different.
So. But that's gonna affect it later on when you see it coming in. Okay, let's finish balling these up, and this still needs to prove for another 20 minutes. I think this time we're gonna make a lot more.
Chop.
So just before it's like around 20, 25, right?
Yeah.
We'll probably make 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need to put it in a bit closer, yeah? Because right now that's what we have. I was hoping to bake it a bit closer, but I think I baked it too apart this time. So
That looks like fish balls to me.
Yeah, it has that feeling. Okay, right here at the end. Hopefully we have enough space. 3, 4, and yeah, perfect. How many is that? 36? 35?
30.
30. Great. Jajan. Okay. So now, let me just fix this. That's already kind of like improving a little bit. That's still gonna rise a little bit more, and that's gonna occupy a little bit of the space. And then later when it bakes, it's gonna kind of like stick together. But yeah, this still needs to proof. So we're gonna cover that again with our cling wrap. Might as well just reuse this because it's a waste if I'm just gonna be throwing it away. So I'm just going to lightly cover that so it still has place to aerate. And at the bottom, make sure there's no flour because this will go under the kotatsu again to proof for 20 minutes. At the same time, we're gonna be prepping the temp on the oven and at the same time the egg wash. Let's go. Okay, so now that's proving. Let's go ahead and clean out the table again because we're done with the processing of the dough. Let's go. This is the part I don't really like the most because you ended up with a lot of like wasted flour. So with dusting, I guess it's always good to put a lot, but then again, you want to control it as well because if you're going to be doing this as a business, you want to be able to control the amount of flour because like that's still money down the drain, you know. Okay, while the oven is heating up and the bread is proving, we are going to make an egg wash. So for the egg wash, it's just some egg, a bit of sugar, and some milk. I kind of just play around on this and kind of eyeball it honestly because sometimes the yield of the bread is a bit too much, or like I like to double coat it with the egg wash so it has that nicer brown color. Or sometimes, you know, we like to turn the remainder of the egg wash into a tiny crepe omelette. So usually, yeah, I guess that's a good amount. Tiny bit more for good measure. Why not? Always good. Might even throw in some parmesan over there when I'm gonna turn this into an omelette later. That's usually the case. And not too much sugar. The sugar will help to caramelize once it's being baked. It's gonna be good. Okay, and of course, with a tiny fork, just beat it up. Also help if you have a good pastry brush because when the first time we did this, we didn't have a pastry brush, so we ended up using a tissue and just dipping it and then like dabbing it on the bread. It looked pretty gross, but it got the job done. So yeah, get a good pastry brush. You just apply that on like a nice thin coat would do. But we like to put 2 coats on it because sometimes even when it bakes, it doesn't really get that color. So yeah, set that aside, wait for our bread to finish proving and also the oven to heat up. Okay, here we go. Now the fun part, egg wash. Just gonna go ahead and dip it like so. Move the excess. Oh, I got a bit of there. Then apply it. Don't be shy. Just wanna get that top nice and glossed. Depending on the humidity of the day, actually it'll dry off a little bit. But I guess it also depends on how much milk that you put in. I think I put a bit too much this time, but we'll do a double coat on it. Oops, poke that one. Okay, let's do a second round. Oh yeah, don't be afraid to use the back of your brush. Get that in there. That one doesn't have, it's not as yellowing to my liking. Okay, let's just keep applying this for now. Alright, that's all done. Let's go ahead and get this into the oven. 375 Fahrenheit. Oof. And that's gonna be baking for about 20 minutes or so, but just keep an eye on it. I'm gonna put it to the top one over here. I'm gonna set that to time lapse. Go! 20 minutes. Let's go. Okay, so we are now 14 minutes in. We're gonna take a quick peek on our bread, and still kind of blonde. Maybe I should add more egg wash to it. I could run it off a little bit more, but I'm gonna turn it around a little bit. And deeper in. Yeah. Alright, after the 20 minutes is up, let's have a look. Yeah, boy. Look at my buns, boy. It's still not as brown as I wanted it to be. I'm gonna put that in a little bit longer, maybe 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes would be good. It'll be good. So I guess maybe 25 minutes. Yeah, setting at 5. Come back to it. And here we go, guys. The final reveal. Dun 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 dun. Let's freaking go. Yes. Let's go. Looking good. Okay, there you go. That's our bread, and this is gonna cool down until it's ready to eat. Hope you guys enjoyed it. It's quite a fun baking. But yeah, really good stuff. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and give you guys a peek on how the crumb structure is on the bread. So I'm gonna take up a corner over here. And look at that. Woo! Came out really nice. Oh, it's out of focus though. There we go. Look at that. I think this is the 32 grams one, because we were kind of thinking like, oh, it looks kind of small. Yeah. But it didn't really look like it's different. I mean, it's right next to the 37. Didn't really look any different. So we're eating that together with some of the egg. Actually, I added another egg in.
Oh, really?
To make tamagoya, because like I was like thinking, it'll be nice. And I'm also like boiling some water for some coffee. So yeah, pretty good. Okay, I'll take the 32 one, give the bigger one for boiling. Here you go, love. Dozo. Tadakimasu. Man, look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Fresh bread, can't be beat.